Yeah, well, we got another article from Marketing Land. Live video becomes the creative canvas for digital marketers. Now, have you hopped on board the live video craze? Hey. Stop that. Stop that now. From Fritz Brumder, he actually explained how live experiences can help you cultivate creativity, innovation, and a captive audience. Digital marketing has become a world where data often overruns the creative process. A/B testing, every element in a campaign sometimes becomes the obsession relating and regulating ideas to simple, more variables to test, right? Well, this is a disruptor. Digital marketing, inside of live video, right? There is a disruptor here. It has to be authentic. It has to be a connection to your audience, and you can't BS that. You can't post-produce your way to a win. You have to be able to deliver live content and live authentic interactions, right, Rob?
That's it. I mean, you just nailed it, right? And it's what, honestly, I made a joke of it at the top of the show, but the real honest answer is not that I, don't want to get into live video or haven't wanted to get into live video. I just haven't felt like I could do it at a level that would really be at a level that I think I can compete at yet. Mm-hmm. And so it's you guys know it, you do this. Yep. A very, very difficult thing to do well. And I'm not satisfied with sticking an iPhone in front of my face and, sure, as I joked at the beginning of the show, having you watch me eat a sandwich or something, because I just think I just don't find any value in that at all. If I can figure out a way that I can create something differentiated out there that's interesting to watch, and I think live video is absolutely one of the, if not the most powerful things you can do right now, because just as you said, this is why people tune in, right? There's been some studies done that talked about how programmatic shows that we've come to, the sitcom and the movies and that we watch on television are really, because we can time shift them, we can record them or we can fast forward through them or whatever, are becoming commoditized. But live content, live events have maintained their value because it can't be. People tune in because they don't know what's going to happen next.
That's right.
Quite frankly, anything happen next.
That's right. I
think it was Linda Boff, who's now the CMO of GE, who said basically they're pulling back their ad spend across all of television except for live events, because quite frankly, live events are where people tune in.
Absolutely, and people, you're absolutely right. People are managing their own time. They're managing and prioritizing their time, and live event is that milestone that they can't manage. They if they want to be connected to an event or a series of events, they've got to drop everything and be able to be part of that, right?
It's where an audience comes together. That's the real key, right? It's where an audience actually comes together. And this is something I teach in my workshop when I talk about the differences in when you're a marketer, the differences between audiences and buyers. And working to build an audience is a different thing than working to build a community of buyers, because audiences gather for the anticipated value, not for the the what they've bought, right? But I think when you think of why you go to a concert or why you go to a football game or why you go attend a conference that's live, it's not because you can't get that material or that value elsewhere. You could listen to the game online. You could read a book about the conference and what's going to go on there, all those things. You go for the anticipated experience because something may happen there that is differentiated from anything else I would experience from the content that is promised to me. And that energy in that audience, that gathering of that audience in real time is part of the experience.
Yeah, that is it. And doubling down for the new media side of things, you have that level of engagement now that you can actually have coming back from those individuals. And on top of that, you are getting into the consumable comfort zone of where those consumers like to participate. So you're getting to the smartphone. You're getting to that app, that Pocket Digest, where the consumer has filtered everything else except for what they want to pay attention to. Now you're streaming a live event, a live communication to them. I mean, you're tripling down the level of content and buy-in from a consumer now.
Yeah, and it'll collapse, right? Just at the top of the show, you mentioned, I don't know how many it was. It was 8 or 9 or 10 different ways that you could consume the content that we're creating literally as we speak.
Yep.
But that, Facebook is doubling and tripling down. They want to be that partner, right?
Yes,
because
they do.
They recognize that things ultimately will collapse down into a standard, into a platform where people are going to want to consume that content. And so they're hoping to be the one, but so is Google, and so is Amazon, and so is Apple, and they're all vying for that very limited space on the front page of the user's device to be the chosen way that they consume content.
That is absolutely correct. Boy, this is exciting. I could go and do an entire show just about this, because that's exactly what we're doing with the studio. Yep. is to dial in and create that channel of content, not a singular voice, but multiple voices, and on top of that, be able to start creating. And I know Facebook's going to meet us whenever we have that level of content, is that they want to turn into the next Netflix. They want you not to leave Facebook. Love you, Facebook. Love you. But they want you to stay in the sandbox. So what you're going to see are live content providers turning into channels inside that space where you can just tune in on demand and be able to see what's happening live around the world. That's the future there.
And you're already seeing it even in the non-live world.
Yeah.
On our podcast, the one that Joe Pulizzi and I do, This Old Marketing, we covered a story about how I think it's A&E networks are going to be basically hiring what they're calling editors-in-chief for their channels. Because what they're doing is instead of saying, well, we have biography, and that's a television show, and so biography will remain a television show. What they're doing is they're hiring these editors and publishers to come in and say, no. Biography is a platform. The platform itself will then attract an audience. And one of those expressions will be television. The other expression may be radio, it may be digital, it may be email, it may be a print magazine, it may be a number of things.
Yep.
But attracting people around a content brand that really centralizes everything around the content brand, rather than looking at themselves as a television network with a series of shows on it.
That's a beautiful thing.
It is.
It's a really interesting thing when you start looking at it from a marketing perspective.
Absolutely.
You start talking about brands now becoming content brands and media brands, and you're starting to see that trend as well. It opens up a whole new ballgame for me.
Yeah, and I think, I don't know if it's that same episode, but you talked about, one thing I think Facebook has the advantage over Netflix, how you're saying Facebook wants to become the next Netflix,
right?
Is Facebook is all user-generated content right now. Netflix, it's all paid content, and I think you said in that episode, Netflix is going to do $6 billion worth of content that they're going to create. $6 billion worth.
That's right. Yeah, I mean it's astounding actually the amount of original content, because what they've recognized in a genius move is that you look at and they're second, by the way. Netflix is second in that spend to who? ESPN.
Yeah.
But there you look at two very different companies on two very different trajectories right now, right? Yeah. ESPN is biting the dust, and Netflix may be one of the most valuable companies on the planet right now. Why is that? With the same amount of spend on content, it's because ESPN is spending all of their money on licensed content like NFL and MLB and the NBA. And quite frankly, that's a commoditized piece that could be had anywhere. So why do I need to have it with ESPN? And so the loss of subscribers is not that big a deal for ESPN. The much bigger deal for them is how they don't really have any original programming at all to hang their hat on.
Yeah.
And then you look at somebody like Netflix, where they made their money out of basically being a licensed content channel, right? Movies and television shows. And they're trying to completely degrade that element of their strategy and build up this idea of original content programming, where in very short order, they could basically have more original content program than they do sort of library of movies.
Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic. Like I said, that's a deep conversation. It's a valuable conversation. We're going to have you come back around.
We should have tequila for this.
We will have to coordinate our show with our drinking. Oh no, I could go into a very dark place right now.